So this is a zine project, and I did mine with a story about Jesus when he calms the storm. And so this is my draft page. And this is what I mean by it's going to be 8 sections, but 3 of the 4, so if you take it into quarters, 3 of the 4 quarters can be 2 spreads. And you need 1 to be an eighth, you need 2 to be an eighth of a page, but the other 3 can either be separate or 1 as a whole. So this is my draft. So I did the cover and back on one. So here's my second. So I redid those images. I liked them and I made them the right sizes so they would fit. You do not have to do that part. You can just go from this and then cut them out. I also did a copy of this page, which is part of an envelope. I really liked that texture and I wanted it to go with it. Then I practiced some of the lettering for the text. And so then the final one, before it gets copied, is like this. I folded it and I'll show you guys how to fold them. And these are what the photo copies look like. So I will go ahead and take a minute and I'll fold it. There are tons of videos on how to fold a 1-page book or a 1-page zine. And then you smash the diamond. And because mine has been folded, it's really easy, but it'll take some finessing. And here's the final book. So how to have peace in chaos. The waters and the oceans represented like Leviathan and just crazy chaos. And so I really wanted to illustrate the chaos. And I'll probably keep illustrating it some more. But the disciples are scared. All the disciples are scared, and then Jesus is there. And I represented Jesus with a crown. A lot of artists do that for history, so it's kind of a throwback to that. Jesus says, "Peace, be still." He's commanding the wind and the waves to stop. They've stopped, and it says the disciples are saying, actually, I was going to make those a thought bubble, so maybe I will turn that into a thought bubble somehow. I'm not sure. But the disciples either thought or said, "Even the wind and the waves obey him." Who is this man, Jesus, that has control over the wind and the waves? And you'll see the disciples questioning throughout the Bible, throughout the gospel stories. Who is Jesus? How does he do this? How does he have the power to forgive? How does he have the power to do all these things? How does he, and then finally he rises from the dead. So this is the end. So this isn't in the same story, but the same specific like pericope in the Bible, but still Jesus. So that Jesus is here, and then I did Jesus here on the cross, and he says, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Yeah, he still is forgiving after all that. And so I did put the 3 circles. I think I drew, I just ripped it off. I was like, I'm not going to redraw it. So this was my sketch it was not a very good sketch, but anyways, it's a zine. It doesn't have to be great. So here's the 3 circles. Then you have, God created a perfect, good, loving world. Adam and Eve, the first man and woman, sinned, and they went into this world of chaos, which is where we live now. So we have this world of chaos where we are trying to do all these things to either bring us joy or happiness or peace. We're trying to be happy. That's happiness. We're maybe taking substances or drugs or abusing something or anger or fighting, or maybe we're trying to work our way into heaven by doing works and good works to try to be perfect, which we never will be perfect. We never will be God and his perfect creation. But there is the option of going through Jesus if we choose to repent. And actually, I'll put repent and believe. I think they're on my draft, which I can't see now. Oh, there we go. They're on my draft there. But if you repent and believe in Jesus, that he died and rose again, we can go back to this world. We can be seen by God through Jesus' death and resurrection on the cross. And so we have the choice. We can either stay in this world of chaos, which we will be in physically, but we can choose to follow and believe, repent and believe Jesus, and live a life of peace and reconciliation with God. And so, so that's the end of the book. We can either choose the chaos or we can choose peace. And so that's the book's choice. Yeah, that's the simple part, but feel free if you want to just get all of the sketches done on 1/8 pages, that works totally fine.